covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
A Chico mother speaks out after a federal judge ruling gives her lawsuit against Chico Unified new life. A plane overshoots the runway and ends up in the water in southern Oregon this morning. And a fire causes significant damage to the garage and threatens a home in Oroville. You're watching Action News Now at noon. New at noon, firefighters worked quickly to stop a garage fire from spreading to the home it was attached to. CAL FIRE says crews responded to Canyon Highlands Drive in East Oroville about 8 last night, where there was smoke coming from the garage. Flames appeared to be spreading into the home. CAL FIRE says they knocked down that fire with minimal extension into the home. No one was hurt. Fire crews stayed at the scene for several hours for salvage and overhaul. We are still working to learn the names of the victim and suspect after a shooting in Redding last night. Police say it happened at Twin View Mobile Home Park on Twin View Boulevard around 9:30. Investigators also say one person was arrested, but their name has not been released, and we have been calling to learn more about what happened. Police say more information will be released later today. A live lookout from Highline Trail camera in Shasta County. You can see threatening clouds still in the sky above. Court Klopping here with the first check of your Monday forecast.
Yeah, a bit gloomy looking so far today, Linda, but for the most part dry since very early on this morning. And here's the view from the East Los Molinos camera looking southwest across Tehama County, where you're seeing just clouds covering the region right now. And on the hyperlocal look at the satellite and radar, it's been dry in the valley over the last few hours despite that cloud cover and some scattered light showers in our mountain zones so far today, but there is a chance for a little bit of active weather rolling back into the valley. I'll be showing you where coming up in just a couple of minutes. Right now, 63 degrees, cloudy skies in Chico with wind out of the southeast to 16 miles an hour. 62 degrees in Redding, south winds around 9 miles an hour with cloudy skies. 61 degrees with breezy south winds and cloudy skies in Red Bluff, and 64 degrees right now, cloudy with southeast wind of 14 miles an hour in Oroville. Heading into this afternoon, temperatures only projected to top out in the mid-60s to lower 70s for the most part in the valley, so hovering around that average mark for this time of year, but we've got a pretty decent warming trend heading your way this week. How warm will end up later today, where we could still see showers in your Monday forecast, and how much warmer we're getting this week coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Court. New details. We have a statement now from Aurora Regino about the U.S. Court of Appeals reviving her lawsuit against the Chico Unified School District. Regino filed suit over not being informed or giving consent for her 5th grade daughter's gender transition at school. Regino says, quote, "This is a major win, not just for me, but for every parent who believes they should have a say in critical decisions affecting their children." She went on to say that no mother should ever be blindsided by a secret school policy that excludes parents from life-changing interventions. The 9th District Court of Appeals did not rule on the merits of the case, but said a lower court judge used an incorrect legal standard in dismissing it. So it heads back to the lower court to reconsider. Regino sued the school district in 2022, accusing public school employees of violating her rights as a parent by using a male name and pronouns for her daughter, which was at the time in accordance with the school's express gender identity. But she was not notified. Matt Tennis, who was a school board member at the time, sent us a statement that says, quote, "Chico Unified seems to care more about promoting gender fluidity and sabotaging parents than they do about their failing test scores for English and math." Tennis believes the district should settle with Rubino as soon as possible. This week's guest on our podcast, Straight from the Source, is Glenn County District 2 Supervisor Monica Rossman. Among other topics, she shared what it's like to be born and raised in a one Taco Bell town.
The hard thing that they don't tell you about your position whenever you become a board of supervisor is the traveling and new adventures. You know, I had a 5-mile radius rule.
Right.
Like, I never left Orland. Like, if the very first words were, "Would you like to?" and the immediate, it's like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
If you want to bring it to me, I'll look at it. But so this took me completely out of my comfort zone.
Right. So there have to be pros and cons with that, right? That small town vibe. No, you can't get away with anything.
No, whenever I was younger, it was awful. My mom knew everything. She was a beautician, and like I said, 3rd generation. So I would get pulled over, and she would know it before they even ran my plates.
Right.
You know, she was like, "Oh, Monica did it again." I am the only female on the board, so Sometimes I use my mom voice and it just comes out every once in a while, and I'm not mean to, it
Yeah.
just does. But they're amazing. You don't get elected because you know so much about budgets, or you know about water, or you know about this or that. You get elected because you know more about what your district needs. You should know more about, the needs of your people, especially, your fire department, your police department, if it's in your district. And that's the reason why you're up there. You have more in common with your constituents than anybody else.
Now you can watch the unedited conversation on Spotify or the Action News Now homepage and YouTube page. Just search Straight from the Source with Haley Watts. The Middle East conflict and tariffs are on the agenda during President Trump's meeting today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. Matt Bradley reports from Tel Aviv.
That's right, Israel's Prime Minister meeting with President Trump today in Washington. He becomes the first foreign leader to appeal to the president in person to try to reduce or wipe away those tariffs that he has been punishing the world with over just the past couple of days. Now, from what we understand from Israeli media, it sounds as though the Prime Minister and his top leaders here in Israel are optimistic that the president will listen to Netanyahu and either reduce those tariffs or just drop them completely. But it sounds as though folks here, leaders here, were somewhat surprised to see Israel on that list and taking 17% tariffs for its exports to the United States. That could be crippling for this powerful but still very small economy. Now, the Prime Minister is also going to be meeting a lot of criticism as he continues to travel around the world. Just over the past couple of days, the Israeli military, in a rare move, said that they were mistaken about their version of events surrounding the killing of 15 rescue workers in the Gaza Strip. New video that was released that came actually from the phone of one of the corpses of one of those rescue workers showed that their rescue vehicles were well marked, that they had their lights on, and that the rescue workers were even communicating with Israeli forces before they shot them dead. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Now we will share more on what happens during today's Oval Office meeting on tonight's news. Crews rescued all 5 people on board a small plane after it overshot a runway and crashed into Coos Bay this morning. This happened at Southwest Oregon Regional Airport in North Bend, Oregon. Now take a look. Officials say the pilot and 4 passengers of the Honda HA420 Honda jet were treated for unspecified injuries. A public works team was working to contain a hazardous materials incident, and just before 10:30 this morning, a salvage company removed that plane from the water. New at noon, the Red Bluff Roundup Arena received a facelift just in time for the upcoming rodeo. A new coat of paint applied to the sky boxes, the day boxes, and the concrete walls at the north and south ends. And new bucking chutes were also installed, replacing the ones that had been used since the 1970s. This the fencing that goes to the chutes, also new, the 104th annual. The 104th, annual Red Bluff Roundup takes place April 18th through the 20th, and we have a link to where you can buy tickets on our website. Major flooding occurring along several rivers in Kentucky. We'll have a report from one of the hardest hit areas, and the always popular Thursday night market kicks off its 28th year in downtown Chico this week. A guest joins us with details.